Hey everyone, my name is Kabi and today I'm going to show you the battle of light against the light, so the light mirror. In the bottom left as the blue light player appears Lovat, and in the top right appears a player whose nickname consists of the understrokes, or whatever it's called. But it is actually the guy whom we know as Vorus, so I'm gonna tell him that, call him that. And he's trying to find different stuff, different approaches to playing the game rather than just going standard every other game. And recently we've already saw his game with the fleet, when he had a good defense while also capturing the sea. You may remember that move where he took both chests before the 5th minute mark. And now yet again on this quite an old map without any sea, he's gonna face the opponent. I don't really know this guy, Lovat. I think I never played against him, and I can't actually remember also watching any of his games. Probably I could have played against him in the team games, but I don't go to many team games, honestly. I don't know why, but I prefer to play the team games as intended, and of course the team games are intended to play with your friends in the voice chat, and whenever I don't have friends to play with me, I rather go one-on-one. But for some reason many players prefer to go the team games solo without friends, and then they obviously go mad because the other guy don't do what they wanna them do, or play too bad, or play the wrong strategy. But I mean, just don't go solo in the team games, go one-on-one, or get your friends in game, or get the new friends who's actually playing the game, team up with them, go voice, because otherwise I'm not sure why you even spend your nerves. But anyways, that is just the reason why I don't do that. If you enjoy team games solo, then you're welcome. And in the meantime, Lovert is up to the second tier of his castle with a Dwarven Forge and the Elven Tree and the Altar of Heroes, and at the same time Vorus is going the Human Monument tag, so it is a little bit weird build to me. It is Elven Tree along with the Dwarven Forge, so it is kinda Archer Bombardier probably. The other cross-race combo is Knight's Princess, which requires Human Monument and the Elven Tree. And here, what I think of seeing this combo of the buildings is actually archers with the Bombardier, and that is probably something that might work. I might even give it a shot, I guess, next time I play light against someone. And it is pretty much what we see here. It is the Warsmith into the Bombardier and the archers. I don't really like it how Lovot keep queuing many units in the single buildings. It was about fine when he queued 3 swordsmen in the beginning of the game, but now that we are later to the game, I don't really like it, because in the beginning he didn't really have options, because if he didn't need the second racks, it is just too expensive as to make a spare building in the beginning. But now he has options. He may add a sanctuary or a factory instead of just giving stuff. But right, Voros is about to take a fire elemental and capture the mana well, it seems, while at the same time go in the factory too. So he is building helicopters, so he is denied from any anti-air, which is interesting because his strategy is quite vulnerable By the way, it seems that the Lovert is the old school player, because back in the day we used to have the chest in the other place where he stood initially.
Resources collected.
In this position, straight below the fire elemental.
Ready for bombing.
But anyways, both players took their chest and they didn't really fight so far, but probably Voros now is about to check if the mana well is captured already. And he didn't see that. He just ran into the army. Probably he could have ended up thinking that it is captured. And at the same time his helicopters are approaching the enemy's base, and they also see the Tower of the Light magic being finished. The tower is obviously not against the copters, it's built against the knights to prevent from harassing the mining line, because against the helicopters it's not really the best stuff. Archer is way better, but anyways, Lovert also approaching the Voros base, and I believe that the blue player's army is way stronger as per right now, but he's losing time because he's been defending, I believe. So he sends one unit to capture the chest, and at the same time he starts the fight, and the fight really starts good for the blue one. He captured the mana well, so he will have more mana to work with, and also Voros is already up to 100, so he will be ready to use something. I'm not sure what does he need particularly, but he sends the swordsman here. He ended up thinking that it should have been captured already, but well, it was not. So it seems that Voros is about to lose his sanctuary, but at the same time he keeps adding the guardsmen. The guardsmen are quite fast in hiring, so their hiring time is short, so you can spam a lot of them in a short time. But what is even more important, it is Factory 2 and Human Monument 2, so it is the Ballista on the map right now. And the Ballista seems to seal this defense to Voros' name. So it was still quite tight until Ballista popped out, even though guardsmen started doing things, but with the Ballista we finally see how Voros ended up defending his base. Both players use the Magic Blast, and it seems that the Swordsman will come on top, because the Archer is vulnerable to the slashing damage, and I believe that the Swordsman is not vulnerable to the piercing damage, so actually the Swordsman is a counter to the Archers if you count out the different stuff like the magic, vulnerable and things like that. But there is no princess to the blue player right now, even though he has the Elven tree for a long time now, but he didn't upgrade the Altar of Heroes, so he can't get the second hero. He could have traded the Bombardier for the princess, but the Bombardier didn't even die so far. Alright, one guardsman took the wrong path, so he's killed. And what's Voros doing here? I believe he's just taking the chest, which pops up on this crossroad. So he might be mooring the crossroad song by Eric Clapton while taking this one. And in the meantime, Lovert decided to go for the mana well. Forsake. Probably he's about to lose one archer, which isn't the greatest play to be honest, but it is what it is. And the crossroads chest. Well, actually it is a bit aside from the road. Alright, and here comes the second sanctuary. So this Elven Tree Tier 2 was all about the Elven units, and again what I might call a mistake from Lovard. He keeps queuing the very expensive units, which denies him from adding more production stuff. So he can't really spend... No, he spends his money, but he spends them in the very slow fashion. But what's nice is that he tried to use the Fox Rider apparently to take down the Ballista, which we already saw in one of the previous games on the channel, where on that wasteland map the light player was successfully taking down the Ballistas with the Fox Riders. And here Lovard was able to catch one Ballista, the others still alive, and here comes the Tower of the Light Magic. So Varus actually starts to creep this location, and here comes the Fox. Destroys one Ballista, but the other one was covered by the third one. So already 3 Ballistas in the match, which is quite something. I'm not sure if Voros is actually just completing the build 6 Ballistas daily errand. This might be the case, I believe, but actually since we buffed the Ballistas, they are also just good units. Obviously they still have their weaknesses. And the main weakness, apart from not being able to shoot in the cell in front of them, which we call, I believe, the Dead Eye Zone, right? I'm not sure how we word it in English, probably the Dead Eye. Or the Blind Zone, maybe. Anyway, it is not the core weakness. The core weakness is not being able to attack air, and here the only thing that protects this human army from air is one archer and the towers. So it is not, it's already not the only thing, but it still ain't much. And one more great move out of Lovard. Ballista goes down. I'm not really sure why it's been destroyed so quickly, by the way. But anyways, Bombardier here deals a lot of damage, really pulls out a great work. And here we have another Ballista. Windmage tries to show it, but the 2 towers starts to attack it, so Lovard really need to save the Wind Mages, but he fails, pulling one back. So then he clicked, he made a double tap, I believe, so one Wind Mage started to attack a target and below, but the other one picked the target on top, probably the tower itself, so it went down, which is very unfortunate, because Wind Mages are quite expensive in gold, and they also being built very slowly. It really takes a lot of time to rebuild the Wind Mages. That is why you don't really want to lose any of them. And what about Voros? He keeps producing the Ballistas and even send the workers forward. Also adding the guardsmen, who are very good against the Fox Riders, because the Fox Riders as well as the Princess are cavalry, so guardsmen deal a bonus damage to them, so you don't really want to add a lot of Fox Riders against the guardsmen, but they probably are being added against the Ballistas in particular. A very interesting position of the Bombardier. Probably Lovard tries to buy the army on top here. Oh, here comes the gravity on the Wind Mages, and those units are going down really quickly. And at the same time, I'm not sure if this was even on purpose. because probably it was just a double tap and Bombardier just went his way and died for actually nothing. And here comes the 3 chests on the map at the same time, as it is 15th minute mark. And Voros will obviously take 2 of them, and Lovard starts the fight at the same time, which is actually wise, because not all of the units present here, but yet again comes the gravity, and Voros takes down the Wind Mage in a very convincing fashion. So even though he doesn't have any air attack apart from the hero, actually the air units go down very quickly, so he really pays attention to those and uses the gravity on them, and obviously having 2 mana wells helps. He comes to, not really to the chest, it seems that this Fox Rider is being after the mana well or the workers, and it seems that it is she's actually for the workers. Probably I would love taking the mana well even more, but I'm not sure if it is even possible on this map now to get the mana well from the forest. I believe it's not. It's been the case back in the day, but probably not anymore. So the guardsman is a good guard against the Fox Rider. So Fox does a great amount of job in the other side of the map, but actually Voros has enough wood, so it's not a greatest problem for him to lose a few wood mining workers and get another gravity. Also the Bombardier goes down, the Princess goes down too, so 1 hero for each of the players. Paladin's still alive, gives a lot of armor to his fellow units. A little bug with those jumping units. We actually already fixed that, it's gonna live on Monday. And, well, probably not on Monday, because you will need to make sure that your opponent has the latest build too. So we will release the new version on Monday, but it will entirely gone when we ban all the old versions too. So it will be a few more days. But in the meantime, 1 more gravity, more wind mages go down, and it is already 5 ballistas, and that is quite an army, I'd say. Voros is even that mad that he goes up to this position. He's gonna lose all of his units on this position, obviously, because of the artillery tower and also the wind mage. And at last, the Fox Rider captured this mana well, so Lord will have at least something of a sum of mana to work with. But he only got 100. He also doesn't have the mana towers. It seems that he's lost the mana towers. And another gravity. Not all the ballistas are targeting this wind mage now, but Paladin helps also the 2 healers, and it seems that the game's pretty much done, because Lovard doesn't have any working composition against this. And actually, when I was briefly reviewing this game to see if it's good enough to record, I thought that my conclusion would be that Lovard should have placed the factory. Instead of queuing the wind mages, he should have played the factory, probably even instead of the second Rex, to spam the helicopters and just take off those ballistas quickly, or even go in the base straight. But now that I'm watching it, I must admit that Voros is being that cautious with his gravity that probably helicopters wouldn't even be the solution, because he couldn't have splitted them wide enough, I believe, but probably he could do something about this, but I'm not really sure. So tell me what you think. What would be the right solution for the blue player to actually deal with this? Because it seems not that of an easy task. And probably you guys have already met this strategy on ladder and tried something that worked, then please let us know, because Lower didn't find a working solution to this. And so that's it. Thank you all for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye bye.